notebook right now to see.
He is doing that.
And actually, we did see it in the Accelerate Rise game. We saw.
Oh, yeah?
We saw it twice, but those are. Well, neither of those teams made it.
Yeah, they're not here, so.
So we maybe not.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows?
We'll find out. We'll get right into it, though. Bans starting off, and again, Rogue on defense, so they get to go first.
Any ban predictions, Michael?
I'm expecting a Jackal here, Parker. So you know Jackal is a very powerful attacking operator with smokes and can detect footprints. He's also widely played by many teams, especially on the more defender-sided maps.
Really going to do this?
Such as Villa.
Really going to say, yeah, I'm expecting a Jackal ban, right as Jackal is banned?
I also expect Glass. Maybe an Echo or a Maestro, probably a Mira. That one's a little bit late there. Sorry about
this
that.
This time.
We've probably seen an Echo or a Maestro banned out here. There are other options. Those are likely.
I would say we're probably going to see a Maestro ban here, given the way that these two teams play, and there you have it.
Yep.
So to leave Echo unbanned. Interesting. Echo has not been banned so far today.
Yeah, that is kind of weird. You don't see that very often. We have been seeing a lot of Maestro, though. Both of the two maps that we saw in FaZe versus NiP, Maestro were banned by FaZe. So, I mean, again, interchangeable operators. They do different things, but they do the same thing at the same time. It's weird. It's just it's accomplishing the same objective through different means with Echo and Maestro, essentially. Aviator Games, or AVG, going to be our first go-to site here for Rogue. Stands to reason. The standard site for pretty much any team on Villa.
I don't feel like we've seen a lot of Space Station play Glaz recently, so it does make a lot of sense that they would ban the Glaz out, because
True.
Rogue does play Glaz quite a bit, and they can put Slash on that role if they need to.
Rogue also banned out the Maestro instead of the Echo, I'm guessing, because of that player on their on the opponent's side that, of course, we all know and love as being so good at that Maestro. Easely's quite strong on that operator as well, but I think that there's flexibility on Rogue's side of things. Yeah.
I have not been entirely sold. I have not been entirely sold on Redeemer playing on Echo, not the way that he used to. He just has so much better fragging potential on the Echo overall. I
think between Echo and Maestro, he could probably do both. He hasn't been having the most amazing performance, though, so far. In the regular season, he definitely hasn't been as present as he once was, if I'm being honest. And it's something that they're going to need to, well, Redeemer specifically is going to need to have a little bit more of an improvement on moving forward. But that's not for this immediate moment right here. Right here we have Space Station starting on attack. And this is the tricky thing. So not only are pretty much all of the maps, well, no, sorry, not pretty much, literally all of the maps defender-sided, but also on top of that, Villa is one of the most defender-sided maps outright, which means that Rogue have a substantial advantage going into this first map because they get to start on defense. It's also worth noting that both Rogue and Space Station are pretty, I don't know if I would say emotional teams, but they can be caught off balance and put into a tricky spot, and it's difficult for both of these teams to recover from a match, is basically what I'm trying to say. So if Rogue start this half off by getting 4 rounds in a row, for example, it's going to be a really tricky one for Space Station. That was incredibly clean from Bosco, taking out easily. Exceptional angle play there from the Zofia.
That's a quick one.
Yep.
And a pretty good way to start all things as well, by getting the opening gambit.
We're also going to be able to open up those walls. Hard destruction into B. That's going to be able to cut off the rotation between Gun Vault and B itself. Great job to Space Station already establishing that. No impact tracking going to happen. Possibly could have been Easely's job, but since he's gone, he's not going to be able to accomplish that.
I've seen Rogue run the Caveira that Vertical has quite, I don't want to say regularly, but on quite a few occasions, and it's not really that much of a surprise. Though it's the second matchup in a row that we've seen Cav come out. Obviously, Cav has seen some changes here.
Nerf is the wrong word, in my opinion, by the way.
Oh, no. Shutty AK. Oh, he forgot the L. That's okay. So hopefully there's no L for them this time around. You can possibly pick that up depending on what happens between these two teams. But anywho, he's going to lose a Yokai just a little bit senselessly as he shuffles it on into Study. It gets picked away by the Zofia of Bosco, who's still positioned there. She'll put Shuttle in more of just an attacking and fragging role. There's a minute to work with. So not the greatest of timing right now for Space Station, as Shuttle just sees the legs of Bosco, lights it up quite hard. And he gets finished. Great shot from Bosco now to pick up his second kill. Look at Vertical. A massive opportunity for an interrogation here. Maybe he can possibly get back to site. His position really hasn't been noted. Eclipse can see a body. There you go. Takes out Bosco. Rampy trades him off. Vertical will have to hustle to get back into the site. Cannot outduel Thinking Nate and Space Station in a 4v1 with Slash trying to silence his phone, playing behind the bar. Diffuser going down from Redeemer. You can hear the case open up, but Slash knows that he probably doesn't have the coverage. He's cut off by a smoke grenade. He tries in vain, but it's not looking in the right direction. Trying to peek around the corner, but there's 4 bodies from Space Station, all of whom will be trying to guard that diffuser and prevent Slash from being able to disable it as the smoke wanders on. Still a logic bomb available for Chala to use, and on the table, this is a perfect time to do so. The DMR will rattle off, and no headshot there from Slash at all. Chala will finish things. And only 1 member of SSG went down in the ensuing fray. And Space Station on attack will walk away with round number 1.
It's really good to get that early pick and early round for Space Station, especially again considering they were starting on attack. They're gonna have to attack on the same site there. 2 times in a row, it looks like Rogue are gonna stick to their guns on AVG. Now, in that last round, well, I really don't know what to say. Rogue had a lot of opportunities to even that out, and Bosco was given essentially 2 free kills at the very beginning of the round. I don't know what Easily was attempting to do, playing that hallway facing into Study. It's a very dangerous angle to play. Another curious thing is that either he didn't have a Lesion Trap set up, or his Lesion Trap was shot. If his Lesion Trap was shot, not the best plan to actually play the angle knowing that your information gathering is no longer available. You know somebody's going to push it, yes, but the Lesion Trap can give you the timing on the fight. Easily did not have the timing, and thus he lost the fight. Overall, because he lost that fight, he was not able to impact the wall. And yes, the Habana holes were low enough that they wouldn't have been impacted anyway, but still relevant, as it's a part of the utility that was lost for free. Following that, we saw some really abysmal angle play from some of the Rogue players, and you saw at the end, Slash had no intel at all. He thought players were in gun vault. That means the yokai drones are poorly positioned, if positioned at all. That 1 yokai drone that was lost in Study, huge, and there's no Valkyrie being played, and so that's pretty substantial.
Also no IQ.
No IQ. So I mean, a Valkyrie could be very, very useful.
All right. So
it's not me.
Round number 1 in the books here. And a bit of a brief update just before we get into this. Fnatic have tied it up and will send the 2nd stream to a 3rd map between Reciprocity and Fnatic.
That's really impressive. Last time I checked that stream, I think Fnatic were like down 4-1, 4-2,
I think it was like 4-1. Yeah, that's when I saw it as well.
Yeah, so that's crazy that they managed to bring that back. Got to be an exciting match.
Obviously, tilt factor is something that needs to be, I guess, looked upon. But
something I want to know is, are both Fnatic and Reciprocity running the same skin that everyone else seems to be running?
Yeah, this tan camo skin.
Yeah, it
just blends in so well on these beige maps.
Every single person is running it.
Now, with the failure of the Aviator endgame site, well, there's an opportunity to go back there if Rogue so chooses. But no matter what, you're going to have Rogue playing on that first floor yet again. And Pulse play has been a little suspect so far today. We really haven't seen anything that great out of any Pulse players on either FaZe, NiP, or here on Rogue.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen some C4s from below in the FaZe NiP match, but it wasn't from the Pulse ever. So definitely worth noting. I think the one time we did see, or 1 or 2 times that we did see a kill was from the Mute, as a matter of fact.
Yeah. Whether you have the C4 or whether you have the cardiac sensor, to be able to give that information, Rogue is going to need it. As you have shuttles, yokai drones that were given away a little bit too easily in that very first round. Keep them a bit safer this time. Space Station doesn't really have the tools to be able to find them. Smoke grenades going down, as now Rogue will get a little bit more aggressive and push on up and really rely on Eclipse at this point to be able to give the information to the rest of his team, but he'll be found and spotted by Rampy, one of the strongest players in all of North America. First round of those logic bombs will go off and give the position of Rogue's defenders away, as Space Station Looks primed and ready to try to push in towards the site. You see there's a yokai playing over top of the doorway. That'll be able to stop anybody from Space Station who wanders too near. Second kill for Rampy as he dispatches vertical onto the Vigil instead of the Kavera this time around. And phone's still ringing away. Shuttle will take out Rampy and at least calm down the Twitch. As now Shuttle looks for a second kill. He'll fire all the way in to the smoke, but doesn't find anybody. There's Slash picking off Redeemer, and they'll even things out. Not a lot of time to work with Rogue in great position. I'm thinking Nade give his team another advantage. Easily takes one down, but it's a perfect trade. And Shuttle on his yokai drone will have 10 seconds just to stop this plan. He needs to get over there in a hurry, and he's in a great position there. He'll stun, but use both of them. Oh no!
Why?
Poorly timed.
Why?
And Chala is going to be able to get this plant down. Shuttle will have to take matters into his own hands and go for two.
Not penetrable.
There's a Claymore in range, and Shuttle will wander on out. A Gumine will give the position of one member of Space Station away, but Shuttle's in such a tough spot. A rogue peek from Chala here will land Shuttle an easy kill. Should be able to get him one, but there's an immense amount of patience. Doesn't take too long. Bosco's there, and just poor timing from Shuttle. He had everything in his power to stop that defuse, and it's a fatal mistake in that round. SSG will take it.
Big whoops.
A really big heckin' whoops coming right up.
Yeah, that was a huge mistake there from Shuttle for sure, but it wasn't the only reason that Rogue lost that round. Of course, the rest of the anchors did get taken out by Space Station. Great coordination. Now, if I'm not mistaken as well, this is really confusing to me. I don't think that bar is penetrable. I'm pretty sure there's metal plates behind the bar. So, a little bit of lack of knowledge there. Either that or I'm the buffoon for assuming that, or whatever the case be.
Nobody would say that about you.
Thank you, Parker, but people have said that about me in the past, I'm sure. Anyway, Space Station now up 2-0, and that last round for Rogue looked a lot closer than the previous time when they tried to defend AVG, the first round, but it just wasn't enough. They're going to change who's playing Echo. I think that's the right call here for Rogue. Keep Echo in play, but switch up the person on that role. They've also decided to bring the Valkyrie, which is fantastic, an operator that's been available but underutilized so far. At the same time, however, IQ has been brought out. So the counter is in from Space Station, and it might be too late here for Valkyrie to be relevant because of that IQ.
I'm trying to think on the few times that we've seen Space Station play here, who exactly inhabits the Jackal role on the team.
I mean, Jackal's, I think, one of those operators that many people can play, but usually you put it on your Ashe main. Yeah,
I was gonna say, is it Rampy who plays that role? Because I don't really think, I don't know if I've seen Rampy play Jackal. When they ban Ashe, he's
a very versatile operator.
IQ or
most people, I think most people are capable of playing a Jackal too. He's got a really good gun. He's got smokes.
Yeah.
His gadget is pretty much a self-driving thing. Eclipse with great coordination there with the Valkyrie. I'm gonna take out Chala, likely a camera inside a laundry there to make that call happen.
Yeah. I was just trying to think, because I was looking at the bans from Rogue, and I was trying to figure out exactly who's going to be the one to play that Jackal. Interesting here. IQ got buffed. Her gadget sensor is now 20 meters instead of the old 15. Pulse's cardiac sensor is only 9, which means that as Eclipse is on this cardiac sensor, the IQ is able to continuously give this information. And as long as Rampy stays far enough back, Michael, then the Pulse isn't going to know that there's an IQ in play. So all that information will be going in favor of the attackers, leaving Rogue completely blind. And there you go. Now Rampy's underneath. Still has this information, but there you go. Off the cardiac sensor, Eclipse will go.
We talked about the IQs coming from below many times before on Villa. Not a lot of self-destruction to work with here, but he can still call out the electronics and clear out the roamers potentially downstairs. He is the best tool to use to clear out a Pulse. That Pulse has been spotted by Redeemer. He's in actually a very exposed spot, but he's got the support of the Valkyrie that's vertical. Bosco shuts him down, though. Excellent gunplay from Bosco. Eclipse goes for the C4. It will miss. Broadcasted and easy to dodge there for SSG. Rogue's Going to rotate Eclipse over to the main hallway. Shuttle can cover this rotation from above. That's a beautiful setup there. But no one's going to take the bait on Space Station's side. Eclipse gets into a fight and wins it against Rampy, but loses all of his HP in the process.
If he possibly tries to rotate on up, though, you're in a great spot now to possibly have thinking he'd be able to get the kill. He almost finishes off easily, but he won't be able to get what little was left of the Echo playing inside of Astronomy. Thinking Nade looks the wrong way. The UMP of Eclipse is not sufficient. There's barely any time left here, Michael. Only 15 seconds to go, and Easley's in perfect position. He'll finish off Thinking Nade. Redeemer's going to have to walk right in. He'll take the head right off a Shuttle, but he doesn't have a lot of time. He's going to have to stick the plan. He knows he doesn't really have much of a chance. But there's a Yokai drone in play. And Slash as well, to get the final kill needed and give Rogue their very first victory.
That was a really good setup there from Rogue, gotta say. I like what they were doing with the roamers downstairs. Not only did those roamers hold their own for quite a long time, but they also linked up with the anchors playing vertically to support each other and allow for Rogue to get some pretty easy free kills. And following that, with the man advantage, Rogue just knew they needed to wait out the round and lock it out. And they did exactly that. We're going to have a tactical timeout, tactical pause from Rogue. Good timing here from Ranger to make it happen. He's going to call out those strats for his team so that they can get underway. Important to note that the coach is not able to talk to the team regularly, except during a tactical timeout. It's a really crucial time for Ranger to relay some strats and information to his team. I'm sure if you read lips, then you know exactly what's going on. Unfortunately, I don't.
I think he's saying, hey guys, I know that you're really excited for Game of Thrones to come back, but we got to get through this first and foremost.
It's fair.
I don't know if you've seen the teasers. Kev, what do you think? You're wearing your shirt says the North Remembers. Are you okay? Do you guys all want the same hoodies? Slash, what size are you?
We'll get you some hoodies real quick.
I can get some too.
It's cold outside.
It's supposed to get even colder.
It's, what is it, negative something right now? Negative 11?
Negative 21 right now.
Well, it's negative 11 if you speak European.
Yeah. Are you sure? Easley's looking for one. It's not behind his keyboard.
Couldn't find it.
He couldn't find it. Couldn't find the sweater.
Ranger will get on that now that we're out of the tactical pause.
He won't need to talk to the team. He can go get. Okay.
Yeah. So no talking to the team, which means easy pickup of the merch. Get them nice and warm, toasty, so they can go outside again. Oh, and we're back. We're back to this, but this time they can't talk to each other.
Yeah, they can't talk to each other.
You see their mics are up again because not in the middle of a tactical.
They do same-day delivery in Montreal.
I think they do, Parker. I'm actually pretty sure this is one of those cities where like you can get most things same-day delivered.
Okay.
Yeah. I think I'm not 100% on that one, but I gotta imagine Amazon's pretty prevalent here. Anyway, we're all gonna be going to Kitchen. They don't want to go back to AVG. They're afraid of it, and rightfully so.
They're more of a Norton team.
I don't get that joke. Is that it's like a team joke, a sports joke? I don't get that one. What is it?
It's fine. Somebody will understand that reference, and they will enjoy it. Hopefully.
Okay. Usually explain.
Hopefully one person gets that.
Oh, I'm sure somebody will. I'm sure somebody will.
There you go.
Rogue gonna be, again, going to Kitchen. They've got to set up upstairs. Pretty heavy on the roam. Makes sense. Something that you really need to do on Villa. Keep some peripheral control.
Interested to see the way that Space Station is going to attack this one.
Yeah, I mean, last time they attacked on the trophy, and they tried to clear out the roamers first, right? They failed pretty spectacularly in clearing out the roamers. They did manage to get it done eventually, but they lost too much manpower. Then when attacking the site, they were a little bit off focus, and they came at it from an odd angle. Well, not odd angle, but just angles that were still being easily held by the defenders because there was nothing done by the attackers to disable those angles being played. Space Station just skipped a few steps in their last attack. Here on this site, though, of course, since it's something they haven't attacked yet, they could show us something new.
They've got, I mean, there's lots of utility too, right? They've got the disruption with the Zofia. They've got smokes as well, and Space Station actually utilized smokes exceptionally well on Aviator Gaming, but they didn't really get to do all that much of it on the trophy side of things. I think a lot of it was that, I mean, Chala died so early on that you don't have any backup smokes, and when you might put Redeemer on a Capitao and have somebody else play hard destruction if you put Chala on that role, but they're not really doing that here.
I mean, if Space Station were hell-bent on bringing a Jackal, then the Jackal ban from Rogue certainly has upset the way that Space Station have been playing. That is the, looks like the rail of that rifle. We won't have to look at it anymore.
That's super high def.
Easily is going to be putting some shots into Redeemer's feet as he attempts to push into Laundry. Also be calling out that exact push as the heartbeat is now readily available.
Yeah. This is Easily very, very close. He's going to lose his wall, and the entire ceiling above him also gone. Logic bombs going off. This is going to be a dangerous, dangerous position for the Pulse to find himself in. He's going to survive a lot longer than I would have given him credit for.
He needs to survive for a whole extra minute, but all things considered, no pick so far for the attackers. This is a great spot for Rogue to find themselves in. They have lost a little bit of control by Laundry, but that's not the end of the world. And they still have roamers on the top floor to play vertically. Potentially come to a flank using those drop downs later in the round. It's smokes and gas canisters to try and deny the plant, but there's no one in a position to take out Redeemer. Scratch that. We'll see Slash's gas canister do just that. Vertical also takes out Rampy, so we're back to an even man count. Shala corrects that for Space Station, but Shuttle does the same exact thing. And it keeps going back and forth. Bosco upstairs will eliminate Shuttle, trying to answer his phone, leaving just Vertical in a 1 versus 2. Diffuser not being planted just yet. Chala's waiting for cover. Going for it now. He can hear the tap, gets the shot. Vertical goes for one more, but can't land it. Such a close round. Bosco will lock it out, though. Not able to cover his teammate, but gets the refrag, and that's just as valuable.
Not really an opportunity there to be able to walk away with both of those frags off of Vertical side of things. You got to feel for him. But it was also just the way that Rogue played early in that round. So many trades back and forth, and you just don't come out ahead. It really just comes down to, at that point, which team is playing closer together, and it ended up being SSG.
So, Space Station have already won this half. Currently, the scoreline is 3-1, yes, and potentially this could go to 3-3, but that is beside the point. The 60% defender win rate on Villa is why Space Station are in a commanding position right now, even if they lose all of the subsequent attack rounds.
They can.
Big Redeemer, all the calls there that he needs for the rest of his team to be able to help out. I know that we pay a lot of attention to Bosco, but he's just such a consistent player on LAN. He always shows up, doesn't matter what team he's on.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if it's on Elevate, doesn't matter if it's on Obey, doesn't matter if it's on Era. He's always there for his team, and today is no exception. He's able to do so on a variety of roles, but sticking him on the Zofia is good because you give him a little bit of utility and give him lots of fragging power. I'm curious to see Space Station, when they go to defense, they've switched up their roles a little bit. If you remember the one interview that we were able to do with Lycan in the regular season, basically said that Bosco was more comfortable on smoke and the way he was able to control the pacing of the sites. Just Thinking Nade's traditional role, and you move Thinking Nade off of that. I don't know if it really worked all that well for them in the regular season. I still think that Thinking Nade is top tier in that position, though his stats this season have been pretty lackluster.
I mean, what was their record? 1-4-2?
Yeah, I think so, something like that.
Something like that. So Space Station haven't been having, no matter how you look at that, it's a bad season so far for Space Station. 4 draws, it's just, that's crippling. You're losing so many points.
Something's got to change at that point,
yeah,
right?
Something's got to change. Yeah. So we'll see. But here in this match, right this minute, they're having a good start to this Villa. I mean, 3 attack rounds, it's very impressive.
The only site that was really successful for Rogue was over on Trophy and Statuary.
Yeah, and they can't go back there.
And they can't go back. Well, they can next round.
Yeah, they can't go back there right now.
Right, so they have to go somewhere else. Well, Kitchen, I would say, was actually probably closer than Aviator Games.
I agree with that. AVG has been a struggle for this team.
Right, so why would you, I don't know, I would possibly go back to Kitchen and see what you can do. If maybe there's just an assumption among Rogue that they're better primed on this Aviator Games site. I don't know.
I'm guessing they're just trying to keep things moving, keep the ball rolling, you know, not to get static. I agree with that philosophy, and I think it could potentially work out for Rogue here, but they've already lost a very crucial part of that reinforced wall into A.
But they didn't get the wall into B on Space Station's side because Easily is bandit tricking, which is something that we don't see a ton of.
He's allowed to bandit trick because Shuttle is watching his flank from the main hallway on Echo.
And there you go. They'll finally push Easily off. He'll get spotted and pinned under drone as Bosco just continually gives this information to the rest of his team. And Shuttle finishes off Rampy, though. So this Echo playing in 90 is able to get the opening salvo, so to speak. on to SSG and take out the IQ. So there you go. Rampy on the IQ, off of the Ash, off of the traditional fragging operators that we put him on. And, you know, IQ is as good as any to be able to get the kills needed.
Yeah.
Fast, good gun, etc.
That means the yokai drones are going to be so much more important. Shuttle did just kill his main counter, and with only 40 seconds left, we've got no crouch holes into the site. 2 prone holes, yes, but no crouch holes. And it's going to be hard to access because of that. Rogue also have control of these roaming positions still, by 90, for example. You can see the Thatcher trying his best to get control of 90, but it's going to be a really difficult take there, especially with these gas canisters starting to come out. Chala has worked his way into sight, though. He might be able to get an easy 2-piece if he catches somebody off guard. The Nitro Cell will go out, though, and Eclipse perfectly placed. Redeemer will take out Vertical at the same time, and the diffuser's being planted. Where are the yokai drones? They're not available, apparently, and the diffuser will go down. Rogue have somehow lost full control of sight. SSG just waltzed in and planted. I have no idea what I just witnessed.
A lack of utility, and you hate to point fingers, but that's the second round where you've got a yokai in play in a common plant spot, and you can't do the trick. This is actually something that has befallen Space Station a number of times, and Redeemer has worn this through a variety of losses where he doesn't have his yokais in position to be able to stop the plant. We have a good visual on how long this plant is going down. Bosco gets tagged in. He's sitting in the midst of smoke. Over by the bar, he's getting the plant off quite successfully. And there's just no information. There's none at all. Shuttle is totally blind. And the Echo's not working for him. You go with the Legion instead. I think that's a smart choice. Either the comms have fallen off on Rogue's side of things, or you need to put Shuttle on another operator, because frankly, you cannot be relying on your yokais to stop the plant when they fail to do so, and you have 2 rounds that are winnable, and you don't win them because you don't have your utility in the right place at the right time.
You know, it's not necessarily just the yokais, too. I mean, you're talking about information as well. There's no Valkyrie being brought that last round. Instead, they decided to bring a Bandit. Here, we have a Valkyrie. Great. But
10 seconds remaining.
I don't know. Lack of information, poor calls, whatever you want to blame it on. Yeah, it's really unfortunate the way that ended up happening for Rogue. And because they failed to defend AVG every time they went to it, the standard bomb site, the primary bomb site for most teams, they are now in a crippling disadvantage in terms of round count. I mean crippling. We're 60% win rate for defense on Villa, and you're losing 4 attack round or 4 defense rounds. That can't be happening, man. And you got to imagine once SSG switch over to their defensive half, unless they make some pretty serious blunders, we're going to have a really one-sided match here.
Yeah.
But I mean, who knows? It's possible. Space Station, again, one of those teams, they're really hard to predict. Sometimes, you know, one moment, they'll be performing, having an amazing match. The next moment, it starts going the other way.
It's funny, though, because I think SSG has kind of morphed into a much better LAN team.
It's true.
You know, USN, they looked pretty good. DreamHack Winter, they looked pretty good.
Yeah.
Now here, at least the start that they've had so far, they look pretty good. It's very similar to Ninjas in Pajamas last season. Remember, Ninjas in Pajamas last season were almost a tire fire for most of the first half. They come to Paris, and what do? They tear it up. They make it out of groups. They're the only Brazilian team to make it out of groups. And they give EG a run for their money in the quarterfinals. The same thing happens in BR6.
It's absolutely a fair theory, and honestly, it makes sense. But what really worries me is the inconsistency. Like, yeah, okay, they're a LAN team, but I don't know. It's worrisome because, I mean, what's happening to NIP now? I mean, they didn't just lose their match against FaZe. They got absolutely, well, they got it handed to them against FaZe. And this is, again, it's on LAN, so that comparison, not good necessarily.
We just saw a Valkyrie camera go down, and we also just saw a yokai go down, and in one round, SSG has managed to take out more utility with an IQ than NIP did for their entire series. It feels like it's something they can possibly learn from there.
Yeah, maybe.
But here's what I like what SSG is doing at the moment. They're basically fighting all onto the actual site itself, and they're going to force Rogue to retake.
Yeah.
They are completely ignoring the roamers, it appears. And that's going to be a major problem for Rogue, because you've got both the Valkyrie and the Pulse downstairs, who will now need to have to worry about flank watching.
Those players, though, both of them have C4, and it looks like it's an adjustment from SSG. One player at least coming down to try and clear out underneath. Dokkaebi going to use those phone calls to disrupt these defenders, but with 30 seconds left, all defenders still alive. This should be a round for Rogue, all things considered. All they need to do is wait. Still control Master Bathroom. Easley's taking full advantage. Eclipse is going to get a C4 from below onto Chala, as we expected. Diffuser's being planted and no Pulse C4 available. It's also on a hard floor. Easley and Eclipse both get one for themselves. Just 2 on Space Station. Easley's inside a Master, and he will flank Bosco. Finally takes him out, but that was very scary for a second. Rogue will take the round, and an excellent retake. Not enough manpower being chopped away there from Space Station in earlier parts of the round. They really worked at that utility. Because of that, they were able to get the plant. But no picks happening prior to actually pushing into the site that's not great, Parker. It's not great.
It's not great. It's not good.
Well, I mean, 4-2 is still a fantastic half for Space Station.
Yes, I agree. If you're the attackers and you're coming out of this circumstance like this, then you're going to be comfortable and confident here, right? And we've seen SSG play Villa earlier. They played against Evil Geniuses. They lost, of course, but they gave EG a good run for their money on what would begin, I guess, the reign of terror that EG has had over North America. My only question for Space Station is, how are they going to be able to communicate on defense? Rogue so far have not looked like they're able to really talk to each other the same way that they used to be. And I know that there's growing pains. When you had somebody new to the roster, you had vertical to that roster, you're going to need to make sure that people are still being able to communicate with each other really well. When the comms fall off for Rogue, they get into a lot of trouble. I think also that's part of why you saw the issues with Shuttle's, Yokai play. I like the change that was made from Rogue, putting Easley on that Yokai. He really held that round together, not just in terms of information, but also in terms of killing. The MP5. I don't know. I think if Space Station ends up taking this round right here, they're going to be in excellent position to carry on forward.
I mean, if they...
and possibly put it away. Rampy with the 6 pick on Nakav, as long as he's been able to evade all of the drones, then he might be in a position to surprise somebody. But Rogue doesn't typically entry solo. So that's something where Rampy will need to not just land enough to down 1, but also 2.
I mean, I'm sure you guys have noticed that Cav has been played quite a lot so far.
I think this is her 3rd time, I would say.
All things considered, as far as Cav go, that's a lot.
With the new changes.
And it's because of the new changes, I think. Again, I don't think it made her more consistent per se, but I think it made her more versatile. Got a lot more range there on her weapons, and it does show. It's really important that you can be more versatile as a player and an operator in this game. Eclipse is going to take a little bit of early damage there. Not sure exactly where, but already lit up. That's not great. Slash playing on the Blackbeard. An abnormality, to be certain, but not the craziest thing. Blackbeard's still very powerful if you just want to win those gunfights. Ooh, the Yokai Drine might actually get zapped there on the Thatcher, and yeah, it will hit the floor, so potentially could be executed.
It just sounded like he lost it as well.
Yeah, it looks like he lost it. So that's a pretty big win there for Rogue.
IQ and Thatcher is a very potent combo to try to pin down Redeemer. And it's actually kind of funny because you think back to this team on Space Station ages ago when you knew that Echo only had 1 Yokai at the time. EG actually ran an IQ an awful lot back when IQ saw very minimal pick rate solely to counter Redeemer. And if you can basically cut him out from the rest of the team, then Space Station's fortunes fall very fast.
It is certainly something that has crippled SSG in the past. And Shuttle's going to take down Chala. So already a good start here for Rogue, and could be a very successful attacking round, that's for sure. But Thinking Nane's going to refrag onto Easley. It's not over just yet. That's the Maverick gone. Maverick hasn't been seeing a lot of play so far today, but he's a very influential operator here on Villa.
He comes on in, and Slash now has control of this classical hallway, as well as 90. There's still mute jammers that they're going to have to deal with here. And only hard destruction, as you noted, was that Maverick. He's gone. Slash will give his position away, but he's just able to do so much damage. It's that Blackbeard. He's going to try to outduel the Caveira, and very low on HP. Slash will have to stop and pull that needle out of his foot. Very, very close. Space Station being able to walk away with a kill onto that Blackbeard, trying to provoke a fight so you can soften up his body and not put yourself in a heads up against that deployable shield. Rogue are flirting right now with the main doors into the site, but they haven't really been able to do all that much. The Caveira looks like she still might be undetected as well, and Rampy just guarding the doorway. There's two bodies of Rogue very, very close inside a study. There's a push all the way over by the Master side. Three bodies of Rogue will have to choke through that smoke. Vertical gets downed. Shuttle almost stopped as well. Oh, Rampy, a Pokeball to take out Vertical. Eclipse is there, but Rogue is running at a time. No diffuser going down, and Space Station will just hang on. And what ends up being a complete fistfight. Redeemer's fired up, and Space Station will take the very first defense on Aviator. Probably look towards Trophy and Statuary as their second site.
Yeah, 3 attempts at AVG from Rogue, all failures. 1 attempt from Space Station, and they managed to make it happen, and that's the difference maker here in this match right now. An inability to defend AVG is really what crippled the first half for Rogue. Now, that last round, Rogue were all over the place, man. I mean, they tried to push into Aviator with, what, like 20 seconds left, 15 seconds left, something like that. The round was basically over at that point. A couple gas canisters, there's not a whole lot you could do about that. And even the impacts ended up being influential there in that round, as he called them the Pokeball. Now, I don't really know what to say, to be honest. The way that Rogue played that, they were trying to clear out roamers on the north side. And once they cleared out those roamers, they were also trying to clear in through Study, but they didn't ever actually clear Study. And because of that, the Thatcher was... I mean, it took him a long time to meet up with his team. Aside from that, there was too much utility on the defensive side, ready and waiting to deny the push, because Rogue got distracted with the players who were roaming downstairs and by the main stairs. They didn't get enough payment for hunting those roamers either. Not enough of an advantage to really matter when it came to the site take.
How much of that do you also think falls on Rogue just not bringing a Heart Breacher?
I mean, they brought the Maverick, right? He got picked off super early. I think Maverick can do a lot of the hard breaching you really need on that side in particular. All right, you could open up all the holes that you need to cut off rotations on Gun Vault. You can make crouch holes pretty easily with 1 canister. It's not a difficult thing. So, I don't know. I think the other hard breachers would have been easier, certainly. But Maverick can accomplish the same thing that you need. It's just going to take him a little bit more time. On that note, though, also, Rogue's time management?
Dreadful.
Dreadful.
You had 3 bodies trying to funnel in through the same entrance.
At 15 seconds.
15 seconds to go.
Yeah.
And I think it was Shuttle who got downed. I can't remember exactly who the very first one to get downed was.
One of them.
But they almost blocked the entire doorway, maximizing the amount of damage that those toxic canisters could do from the smoke.
Yeah, and then the impact finishes off the one who's down, downs another.
Yes.
I mean, it was just a stack of utility because, again, that utility hadn't been worked away from by Rogue.
Rampy giving them the old 2-for-1 right there.
Yep.
So, Rogue using Vertical as the best that they can. He's an exceptional entry fragger, and they've been able to get him inside with a multitude of drones. This Maverick poke holes that have been created means that Slash will basically be immortal.
Yeah, this is why they brought the Blackbeard, so they can combo it with the Maverick. It's a potent combination.
It is, but it's almost a pure fragging combination. There's very minimal utility that you're bringing.
Yeah.
You rely on Vertical to be able to land those shots in astronomy, and he can't do so. Every single member of Space Station full HP. Thank you, Nate. Hurts Slash, but Slash will walk away with the kill, and Space Station will be in trouble here. Here's Vertical trying to make sure they can pin down the body playing an Astro. You've also got Shuttle there on Repel, and this is a very dangerous position for Space Station. This could go bad for them in a hurry.
Vertical looking for the angle, but he's yet to find it. I mean, he's been hunting for this for a long time. Shuttle also missed his Firebolt. And from below, Rampy will get the C4. Why did he get that C4? Because Vert played that angle for a solid 20 to 30 seconds. That is not ideal. Now, Rogue are in a tricky spot. They have a lot of great angles into the site. Blackbeard can still play them, but there's still plenty of anchors to hold this out. You can see that most of Rogue are coming from Master, potentially all coming from Master and the bathroom. Yes, they're all 4. And this is a really linear push from Rogue. It could work out, but it's tricky.
And here's the issue again, no hard breach. You're gonna have to funnel through the doorways. There's no soft destruction for you to do here. Chala has not been shaken inside of Astronomy, and there you go. But Slash picks up his second kill onto Bosco, easily tasked with getting that diffuser down. While somebody watches, he's sitting amidst the smoke. It looks to be quite successful. Good coverage from Rogue there as Shuttle picks off Rampy, and Space Station has just Redeemer and Chala left. Make that just Chala's, down goes Redeemer. Chala takes one, but he's got all those poke holes, and there's easily, with the Blackbeard still holding that tight angle. You mentioned it very perfectly. You keep the Blackbeard and the Maverick synergized. That's all it takes. I said it was a lack of utility, but you don't really need utility when you can still get the kills that you need. Now be Rogue being able to answer back. Now Space Station can go back to Trophy, or they can roll the die and go downstairs.
So, we'll see what they do. It looks like it's going to be going back to Trophy. And I think that's the right call, honestly. I think they could have easily taken that, and now that they know what they're dealing with, there's ways to counter it. The combination of the Blackbeard Maverick there were what managed to get Rogue that round, hands down. Pretty much everywhere else, Rogue were having difficulties. The Capitao, covering with the smokes, was also very important. There was a lack of echo as well on the defense, and that has been corrected by Space Station. So potentially can deny the plant this time around for off-site. And it's a good pick here from Redeemer. I'm not sure why they went without the echo in the last round, but it doesn't really matter. It's in the past, and it did cost Space Station quite a lot. I mean, yeah, the plant was going down under smoke, and Echo can't see through smoke using those yokais, but it's not that hard to pinpoint the location of a planter when you've got some yokai drone directly above him, or at least in the same room above him. It's pretty obvious when the tip-tap on the keyboard of that diffuser is going off. But, again, we'll see if Space Station can make that happen. As we've talked about previously in this match, Redeemer's yokai play has not been amazing as of late.
No.
When we saw him transfer from the Echo to the Maestro, he's now since transferred back, because most of the time he's playing... Maestro gets banned quite a lot. But it hasn't been as potent as it was in the past, and we're still looking for that to change, and this could be the opportunity for Space Station to, or Redeemer specifically, to prove that he's still got it on this operator.
It's a very similar lineup for Space Station as well, and oh no.
That's free.
Just... You know they're running an IQ.
They've got to run an IQ. I mean,
yeah.
We're talking about Villa. IQ not only is pretty much essential when you don't have an echo band, period, on any map, but also Villa, dude. She's so good here.
Bit of a spoiler there. Thank you, Chala, showing off the VIP Jaeger skin for the Invitational.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, look at it. It's all silver and gold.
Oh, there it is, yeah.
It is.
About a VIP, I believe that's VIP.
Those are for the VIPs that will be attending the Invitational. Very nice, Chala. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Now, here's an issue for Space Station. Vertical has been on the pulse hunt. He caught Rampy downstairs. It's pushed Rampy down to the basement. Obviously, that 20 meters on the range of IQ's gadget will be incredibly potent. Powerful, which means that Rampy will have to just be able to get back to site blind, because there won't be that much there for him. I don't really know how easily got in a position to engage an Echo, especially when Echo has the Bearing 9 sidearm equipped, but...
Looks like he was just opening the wall, and he got taken out because he peeked into his own hole. That's unfortunate.
Oh, what? Oh, Slash picks up 2! Oh, Chala and Redeemer pop up, and Spencer sits them down. That's Slash. What a play.
2 for the price of 1. We've been seeing a lot of that today, and that was basically free because he managed to get that. Now Rogue are back in this round. It looked like SSG were going to be able to lock it out, but not the case anymore, it seems. As Eclipse takes down Rampy, it is a decisive advantage here for Rogue. They've been very slow with their attack, but that's all they need to do in this situation. They don't need to rush it. They've got plenty of time and utility to give themselves the advantage.
And they still have Vertical, who can take out those goo mines and take out those traps that might be laying in wait for the rest of the team. Bosco on that old familiar smoke roll, in a great spot to just be able to hold people off. But there isn't a lot of room to sit comfortably on this site, especially as everybody starts to close in on you. I think will put good use to that weapon, take out Shuttle, and there goes the Capitao, and the only set of smokes that you have available to allow Bosco to just continuously blanket the site. Slash, as well as Vertical, will push in from the same direction while Eclipse eliminates Thinking Nate and Bosco. We'll need to walk on into the danger zone. Is there adequate coverage? Diffuser going down from Vertical, but Bosco is blind. He sees the Blackbeard shreds through Slash as there's poor coverage. You can hear the Thatcher at the AR-33 inside a Master. Spots exactly where Bosco is. SMG-11's got a little bit more difficult recoil to have to work with. We'll have to try to get that diffuser down. Rogue will stand pat and just simply wait for the time being, as Bosco will be very exposed as he tries to cross on over. Doesn't really know where anybody is. Obviously, there's no yokais available, and you can see that Rogue has fallen even farther back. Bosco pushes on up, and Eclipse knocks him down. Rogue putting together a very good streak here on attack. Michael, as they now have 4 rounds. And that gap between SSG closed almost.
Wow, that was an unfortunate round for Space Station. Any other operator apart from a Blackbeard, and that would have been Space Station's round. They lost 2 to the Blackbeard, who simultaneously lost his shield because Space Station, one of those players, shot the shield out. I believe it was Redeemer. Either way, we haven't seen so much value gotten out of a Blackbeard in a good long time. I mean, we've seen Blackbeard play. He's still a very good operator. But the amount of value that Slash is getting out of him is ridiculous in this match so far.
Slash is a really underrated player.
It's true.
I mean, he's a quiet guy, doesn't really stick much to social media, doesn't stream, just shows up, plays well, and leaves. That's literally it. He lets his talking happen on the battlefield while also helping lead the rest of his team. And right now, as Space Station takes their tactical timeout, it'll allow Ranger to come back in and discuss with the team exactly what went wrong in that first half, how they've corrected it so far in the second half.
Yeah.
As Aviator Games is going to be unlocked again for Space Station.
I can tell you on that note, by the way, while Slash is a pretty quiet guy, he's got comms on lock. His comms were always good. Never panics. One of the more focused players. Makes sense to put him on that Blackbeard. Aviator Games here from Space Station. And this is the only... This is a weird match so far, because this is the only defense that SSG has managed to win. We've got 3 wins on defense for this match thus far.
Just another day at the office for Villa?
Yep, totally. So for those of you who are confused, again, I've said it a lot today, but I'll say it again, 60% win rate. Why can I not say that? Win rate? Is that how you say it, Parker?
Yes.
Thank you. 60% win rate for the defenders on this map. So this is a bit of an abnormal one, to say the least. AVG, the setup coming in here. Got an interesting lineup here from both teams. Of course, we're going to be bringing the Maverick and the Blackbeard combination yet again from Rogue. And why wouldn't they? It's been working out really well for them so far. The one time that we saw a defensive win, actually, matter of fact, they still had the Maverick Blackbeard, but Maverick died before he was able to open up any holes, and that's probably why SSG were able to take this site. That makes you wonder, now that Maverick's still alive, he might be able to influence this round before he dies. If he's able to do just that, will Space Station be able to defend this a second time? It might not be the case if they can't figure out how to counter that Blackbeard.
I mean, basically what we saw at a Slash is after the Maverick went down, Slash was playing on 90 window, he repelled on in, he walked down Classical Hall, all the way over towards the bar entrance, over by the pool table, exactly where the drone of Slash is heading right now, almost as if that's where he's going to intend to go. And you got to imagine, there's a number of ways that you can utilize this Maverick-Blackbeard combo. You can poke holes in Vault and basically force the defenders in towards the sites. You can basically use it on the study walls and then just have the Blackbeard sit here, as it looks like that's exactly what we're going to do. These poke holes being created, and Slash will be able to use that face shield so well. Might have been a pre-placed C4 that will go off and it will completely miss, as Slash doesn't have a full field of view. There's a couple bits and fragments of metal there, but he's going to fall off. Those jammers will have to be dealt with, and well, you got Eclipse and Vertical to take care of that.
Gonna need to make more holes than just this. I mean, he's got some control with those holes, but he definitely needs more. I wonder if, yep, there the Maverick's gonna be making his way back, it looks like. Worried about his flank, though, for potentially the run out from B. Well-placed shield there at 90. It's gonna afford a lot of control to any potential defenders there, but it looks like nobody's actually playing it anymore.
I feel like we don't often see a deployable shield at 90. Am I crazy?
No, we don't often see it, but I mean, it's a good position to have it.
Oh, absolutely.
Some angles you could play that would be pretty powerful.
Especially with an ACOG, which, speaking of, we've actually seen very minimal Rook and Doc play so far today. I mean, that might be different in the Fnatic Reciprocity game, as we haven't really known their operator lineup here, but the one thing is you typically would see more of a, goodbye Slash. Thinking Nate absolutely destroys the Blackbeard, has easily taken some damage as well, trying to aid his teammate. He's about 25% of his HP is easily will go on back towards Study and head on to Drone to try to give more intel to the rest of his remaining comrades.
Slash was not prepared for Thinking Nate's aggression there, and it was the right thing, the right solution for that problem. Being able to take out the Blackbeard is going to be huge for SSG, and considering we're coming down to the last 30 seconds, and that's the only kill so far, I mean, this is about as good as it gets as a defensive team. Captal Firebolt is going to likely kill Thinking Nate. Well, it will inadvertently, as it forces him into the crosshairs of Easily, which makes for an easy kill. On the middle stairs, Jaeger will go overlooked by Vert. That is a huge gamble. And Eclipse from behind also going to take down one. Rampy able to refrag it. Doing a whole lot of work in this round so far. Easily gets picked up, but the shotgun blast from Bosco will get him down along with his teammate. SSG take another round, their second defense so far, and put themselves on match point.
Here's the worry if I'm Space Station, though, is that was a great play and a good recovery. Bosco played that really well. Thinking Nate almost essentially won them the round by taking out Slash so early on. But here's the bigger issue. Space Station is 2 for 2 on Aviator Games, 0 for 2 on Trophy, and Aviator Games is going to be locked unless overtime occurs between these teams.
Yeah.
So you have to do something that you haven't done yet as the defense, and you need to win on a site that is not Aviator Games. Space Station, I think, realizes Trophy hasn't worked for us twice. Let's go somewhere else. Dining room and kitchen is going to be the contest here. With the game on the line for Space Station, I think if Rogue wins this round, Rogue probably pushes us all the way to OT. This is essentially a do or die, maybe not statistically or mathematically, but I think mentally, this is do or die for Space Station at this point.
Here's the problem. I can think of some pretty potent places to put the Blackbeard and Maverick. There is no Maverick being brought, though, this time. They've instead decided to bring the Habana instead. Not necessarily a crazy adjustment. In fact, it makes a whole lot of sense considering the site. Of course, they had no way to know it was going to be this site, considering it is not revealed in the reveal phase. But at the same time, this is good operator abilities available currently to Rogue. And both these teams going to be, I think, at a good spot, but more so to Rogue in that they were able to adjust. I mean, even without knowing it.
Right. How much of a vertical presence is Space Station is going to have, or how much of a vertical presence will Space Station have? That's something to keep in mind here. It does appear that for the time being, Rampy will be upstairs with that ACOG, possibly trying to contest over on Master. It looked like he was over towards 90, but then he was inside of Trophy. There's a shotgun barrel of what appears to be Chala's Mute, just waiting at the doorway.
Dangerous.
This is very interesting.
Yeah, it looks like they're definitely focused on roaming heavily on the top floor. Not the end of the world. Shuttle tries in vain to get that goo mine. It's kind of hard to tell sometimes.
There's a lot of presence up top.
I mean, even a yokai drone.
This is exactly like what I believe it was Nip did on the main floor. And oh, a great read from Vertical to take out Rampy. I don't think he saw that one coming through the barricaded window. And that'll be a really big first frag for Rogue.
I thought that was a Jaeger when I first saw him. It's that skin, man. It's super disorienting. You see it on everyone, and you're like, who is everybody? I have no idea. Well, an early kill there is going to, like you say, be a huge boon for Rogue, and given that that's going to allow them top floor control, it's even more so. SSG has decided to fall off after that loss, and I think that's the right call for Space Station. They don't need to commit themselves wholly to the top floor as they are defending Kitchen. It's so far been not a great round, of course, but so far we've only really seen good rounds from Space Station on AVG, as you talked about earlier, so it's not terribly surprising. Though, since this is new, you know, one would hope, if you're a Space Station fan at least, that they would be able to adjust to something different.
Eclipse will go fishing, doesn't find anything. Bosco a little bit lower on HP, but the smoke is able to get away. And the wall just outside of Laundry over by the kitchen will get taken from the Hibana. So we see easily off of that Maverick onto a more traditional hard breacher. He'll be there to escort Slash. Ooh, a beautiful shot and just a one tap. As the shield of the Blackbeard is very low. He's still got one in reserve. Surprised he hasn't swapped off just yet. You still have Eclipse patrolling from above. Goodbye to the IQ. Bosco shreds through him. And there goes Vertical, whose impact in this particular matchup has not been all that strong. A drone also tossed out, and a possibility of a run out from Thinking Nade as he'll use an impact grenade on where is a typical spot that lays a claymore from the attackers. Thinking Nade will head back into sight. Eclipse is there from above, eliminates Chala. A lot of breathing room for Rogue as they are very well healed. That's Thinking Nade on a great rotate. Sight control is still there, but the buck looms large over this site. Thinking Nade taking down Shuttle, and this is still very winnable. Easily eliminates Bosco, but Thinking Nade downs one. Eclipse will need to go for the kill, but he's out of time, and Space Station will take it in miraculous form. Out of nowhere, Thinking Nade holds it all together, and what a play from Thinking Nade to give Space Station the map. Wow.
Whew. That was impressive. Excellent play there, as you said, from Thinking Nade. Just in the pivotal position. He played everything perfectly. He pushed onto the Blackbeard because he knew he needed to fight the Blackbeard on an off angle.